Are you ready to be more, do more, and have more of the things that you want in your life? It all starts with feeling better. Welcome to Positively Creative You, the University of Ideas. And this is the kickoff to our 30-day Feel Better reboot. I'm going to talk about what that is and what this book is. So glad you're here and doing this for yourself. If you're here from Mate at the Lake, which is my craft channel, welcome. You'll be used to this format and me. I'm so glad you're here. I'm so glad you're doing this. For those of you who are coming here from parts unknown, from other places than my craft channel, this whole talking hands video thing might be a little weird for you if you're not into crafting or hands-on DIY. Maybe it's just me, but I found this talking hands, no face thing kind of weird at first. Here's my face, but now I get it. I am not the star of this show. This notebook is the star of this show. This is my Feel Better reboot kit that I have made from a simple composition book. Get them at Walmart, Dollar Tree. I like the Walmart ones better because their paper is a whisper thicker, and so your ink doesn't bleed through. The Dollar Tree ones and the cheaper ones from various places, your ink will bleed through, and ain't nobody got time for that. And I just covered it with pretty paper. If you're interested in how to do that, I'll link a few videos, or at least one video below, on how to make one of these into this beautiful tabbed, wonderful kit. So I'm gonna move my anything is possible candle so that I don't light my cool book up on fire, because it could happen. I get so wound up. This book is filled with things that make me feel better. We can all feel a little bit better. It's not that we have to be sick, but this channel, Positively Creative You, PCU, the University of Ideas, is all about living your life by design rather than default. Living your life the way you want to live it versus reacting to what life throws at you. Ways to do that, and helping people just like you be more, do more, and have more of the things that they want. Health, money, career, life, hobbies, love life, relationships, families, whatever it is you want, I want you to have. And I have a whole workshop coming up called Get Your Life in Gear, which helps you get from where you are to where you want to be faster and by design and through your own direction. It's not just happenstance. The only way to do that wholeheartedly is to feel our best, to come to that with lots of energy because we've gotten good sleep, lots of healthy energy and positive vibes because we're feeding our body well, and we're well rested, and we're making our brain healthier by doing a little bit of movement every day. So this is the precursor to that. I've done these before, Feel Better reboots, but never quite formally like this. I made myself a digital kit to help me along, and I've put it up on my Patreon page for free. You don't have to be a patron to get it. You just have to go to my Patreon page, which I will link below. I believe it's right at the top, and you'll find a Feel Better reboot kit. There is a galaxy themed one and a black and white one that you can print on anything. If you have colored paper that you'd like to use, if you're crafty and you have some digital kits, you can print the black and white over something else that you already have. So there are different options, of course, anyhow you want to do it. And by feeling better, I'm talking about feeling better than I have, feeling better than I did a year ago, feeling better than I did yesterday, feeling better than I did 20 minutes ago. Consciously doing things to help me feel better overall, mind, body, and spirit. I have this little guy right here, mind, body, and spirit. And by spirit, I mean lift your spirits, feel better. Keep your spirits high. There's no religion here, and there's no spirituality here. It's all common sense, the science of how our brain works, science light. I'm an English major, so there's not going to be anything complicated in the way of math and sciences, but there is a tiny little bit of math, 1 + 1 = 2 type math, a tiny little bit of science about how our brains work. And we talk about a gear shift a little bit in this reboot perhaps, but most certainly in the Get Your Life in Gear workshops that are upcoming. Workshops, series, playlist. I'm not exactly sure how it's going to all play out. There will be some things on Patreon, some more extensive workshop type stuff, but there will also be loads of free material on YouTube because again, I say, I want you to have more of the things that you want. It's as simple as that. I learned this stuff a few years ago. I've been studying this stuff for a really long time, but it clicked finally for me. And I have to tell you, I'm doing everything I said I wanted to be doing. I'm a stay-at-home dog mom. I have YouTube channels. I have an Etsy store. I have a very creative life. I'm home with my family all day, every day. And that was hugely important to me. And I kept saying, someday, someday, someday. Well, some health issues prior to COVID decided for me, now's the time. And so this is what I do now. And for those of you who are here from My Take at the Lake, if you've heard this one, please, there are maybe some new people here. So I like to know who's driving the bus, who's teaching this. And why should I trust them? I'm living proof that this stuff works. Number one, I am doing exactly what I said I wanted to be doing. I decided what I wanted to do and I made it happen. I didn't get 12 more jobs. I didn't win the lottery. I didn't make any major outside changes. It's all really internally and how I choose to think about it and what I choose to focus on. It's very simple stuff. It's not complex, but it's not always easy. This stuff is easy. This video is likely to be a little bit longer than the rest of them. Videos will vary in length. My idea is to give you bite-sized pieces, maybe daily, maybe every other day, just little tiny bite-sized pieces of stuff to keep you inspired to stay on your track, to get you to your dreams faster. This video, I probably will break it up into some smaller ones because I don't want to take up all of your time. But since we're just getting to know each other and just getting started, this one's going to be a little chatty, so grab a cup of something yummy. You'll hear this over and over and over again. Positively Creative You is all about helping you live the life that you want to live, that you enjoy living. So many of us just get up and go through the motions every day, all day. Every day seems the same. It all seems the same. It's like Groundhog Day, the movie, over and over and over. Or if you're old enough, do you remember the commercial? It's time to make the donuts. That old man that worked at Dunkin' Donuts every day at 5 o'clock, he'd wake up, time to make the donuts, over and over. And it just gets tiresome. And we wonder why we don't have any energy. Why when we come home, all we do is scroll through our phones and veg out at Netflix. That's not living. It's not. It's almost existing. There is more. There is more for you. Not just for the people you watch on Netflix, not just for the fake and perfect, wonderful life people on Instagram, for you too. It's about being glad to be alive. I know there were some days where I just thought, oh my God, I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to do this. This is not a life. Now, this Feel Better Reboot and Get Your Life in Gear and Positively Creative You it's not just for people who are in dark places, but certainly it's for people who are in dark places, but it's also for people who are doing well and want to do better. No matter where you are in your journey or where you are on the way to your dreams, because we're all on the way to our dreams. Whether we take the high road, the fast road, is entirely up to us, but we're on our way somewhere. And no matter where you're at, if you're in a dark place, I have been there. Believe me, I have been there. I come from a long line of people who with depression and anxiety, and I bought that story and I lived that story through the best years of my life. And one of the reasons I'm doing Positively Creative You, Universe-ity of Ideas, is because I want to help people understand that it's just a story. For most of us, it's just a story, and we can let it go. That's a whole nother ball of wax, but I want to say, just because things are going swimmingly for me right now, doesn't mean that I haven't been in very dark places. I was agoraphobic. There was a point in my life where I did not leave the house for 2 months. Even to go on my own porch to get the mail. I couldn't do it. I was paralyzed by panic attacks and anxiety. I lost a lot of my hair because of my stress and anxiety. And I got out of that place, not through therapy, not through drugs, but by understanding what was happening in my brain and my body and changing it. Simple. Not always easy, but not complex. I've been in dark places. I've been in jobs that I hated. I had several jobs at one time that I hated to support doing the one thing that I did like. I'm getting a little off track, and that happens, and I apologize, but that's just how my brain works. I'm introducing myself to you and sharing some details that were not on my script. One of the things that I love to do, that I was born to do, is teach, and I taught college for a number of years. I'm a college English instructor, teaching all things English. I've been around a while. I've seen a lot of things. And I want to share the lessons that I have now come to understand. It took a long time, and I want to save you some time. I want to save you some aggravation. I want to save you some dark days. They don't have to be dark. All stories for other days. Today we're talking about feeling better, and I'm telling you all of that to tell you that there is light at the end of the tunnel. You can feel better, and it's entirely up to you. You don't have to get a new job. You don't have to win the lottery. You don't have to move from where you are to a sunny beach in Florida or a snow-covered mountain log cabin away from it all. You can feel better right now, right where you are. Start where you are. Work with what you have and do the best you can. That's all we can do, and it's one step at a time. And what happens is you build momentum. You build momentum and you build momentum, and you will feel better. Whether you feel really bad right now or pretty good right now, you can feel better. And that's what this is all about. We're going to talk a lot about shifts in mindset, understanding how our brains work, and that we are in control of our minds. Quite often we feel at the mercy of our minds, to quote Eckhart Tolle. We are really in charge of it. That's the only thing that we have full control over. Now, there is one tiny little caveat. There are a few people in this world who are born with sick brains. Fetal alcohol syndrome is a good example, where literally there's holes in their brains, and some things are beyond their control. But I spent almost 3 years working as the registration person at our emergency room at our hospital. And I have to say, in my non-medical opinion, I am not a therapist, I'm not a doctor, I'm telling you things that I have observed and things that I know to have worked for me. And what I saw at the hospital, when people came in with mental health issues, 90% of it, or better, they could have controlled it if they knew this stuff. If they knew about what we're going to talk about here at PCU, they could get out of it. First of all, they have to want to get out of it, because being depressed and anxious gets you out of a lot of stuff. So you have to decide that you're ready to throw away the crutches and walk on your own. Big decision, especially if you've convinced yourself of that story. You are your own best tool if you decide to do the work. Holy smack. Can we just get to let's just get to the reboot. One last thing. So in order to get more, be more, do more of the things that you want, you have to feel your best so that you have the energy to drive yourself to your dreams, to get where you want to be. I liken it to, once you learn this stuff, it's like getting into your car, right? You have a destination, you want to go to the mall, and you get in your car and you know you want to go to the mall, and you talk about going to the mall, and you're all excited about going to the mall. You have stuff you want to get at the mall. You're all excited about the mall. You get in your car, but you don't turn it on, or you turn it on and you don't put it in gear, or you put it in gear, but it's not the right gear. You'll never get there. Having the energy and feeling better and whatnot is only part of it. The get your life in gear part picks up where this leaves off, in that it helps you take the right action, not just action, but the right action for you. Let's talk about this feel better reboot. I know I said one last thing, but a PS to that one last thing. The info that we talk about here is going to take you places you may not have been before, and you can't unknow it. Once you know this stuff, you can't unlearn it. And even if you don't buy into it right away, there are seeds that are going to be planted. And when you're ready, it'll all make sense. Oh, I wish I knew all this stuff, and I wish I would have let it sink in and click earlier, but sometimes those things aren't in your control. And when I was ready, it all made sense. And now I'm here to shout it from the rooftops that you too can make these changes. You too can do more, be more, have more of the things that you want. Learning this information is part one. That's getting in the car. But taking action is putting the car, turning it on and getting it in drive before you'll go anywhere. Action is the key. Not just changing your thoughts, but changing your actions in coordination with changing those thoughts. Before you can drive off to your dreams, you have to feel your best. So next video, we'll just go through the book.